Hey everyone, Jem here. Welcome back to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. I am feeling a little bit poopy today and I look very poopy. But I have something to cheer me up and I hope that it will excite you guys too. I have had a lovely email from Birgit, who is the Norwegian Colorist. You can check her out on Instagram. Her work is really inspirational, but she also now has an Etsy store and she has generously sent me some of her colouring practice page PDFs so that we can try them out today. So they're really high quality and there's lots of different designs to choose from. So if you want to check them out, I will leave the link in the description to her Etsy store as well, so you can go and take a look for yourself. But we're going to give them a little road test today, and that's the perfect thing for a day like today when I'm really not feeling too great. We're going to do a bit of relaxed colouring and just enjoy ourselves. So we'll get to top down view and we can get going. So Norwegian Colorist has sent me 2 PDFs. She has sent me her Flowers Volume 1 practice sheets, and she has also sent me fruits, vegetables and berries, which I personally am much more excited about than flowers because I colour flowers all the time. These are great if you are an artist who's looking to start working in colour pencil and want to practice in like a sort of stress-free environment, shall we say, and also if you are an adult colourist and you have anything like me, a plethora of colouring books. They're great just to give different colour combinations a go and see what works, and you can also take note of them as well. So I've just printed off one page from the Flowers Volume 1. There are like many pages, but I just wanted to show you the layout and the setup of this. And with it being a PDF, the wonderful thing about those are you can print it onto any type of paper that you want. So if you have a favourite paper to use a specific set of pencils on, or like me, you just have coloured pencil paper that you like, then you can go ahead and do that. At the top there is a space for you to put in which set of pencils you're using, and also the date as well if you like that kind of thing. I'm really into that sort of thing. I kind of fixate on numbers though, so that really tickles me. And if I just zoom in a little bit more now, you can see that there are lots of different types of flowers. Now this actually might be quite handy if you want to use the colours that the flower are meant to be. So if you want them as a reference point as well, it's really handy for that. So we've got lots of different types of flowers here. And then there's this little space at the side where you can write in the names of the pencils that you've used as well. You can store these in a binder for future reference, or if you just want to mess about, it's a really nice way to relax. So that's the sort of layout of these sheets. And here I have, with my little smiley face paper clip type bulldog clip thing, hope you can see smiley face. This is what like the entire PDF looks like, and there's 12 pages. That includes this front cover page as well. So there's some of Norwegian Colorist information down here as well. And here we have some of our fruits. So we start off with the sort of common or garden fruits, you know, the things we're all familiar with. But if you look across here, the first line is apples, but they have a section for the inside and the outside of the fruit, and then 2 together as well. And it's the same with oranges as well. We have this sort of segmented part, you know, like the middle part, and then there's one of the outside as well. So I think that's really nice and really thoughtful. I'm also very taken with the banana situation. I do like bananas. I have a thing about bananas, and the fact that this is laid out like a smiley face just makes it even more entertaining. So I think I want to have a go at that one. But they do get, you know, more exotic as time goes on as well, which I like. And yeah, they've even got grapes with seeds. And you can see how much time and effort that she has put in to perfecting all of these. And I mean, they're really high quality drawings. It's nice thick smooth line work as well, which I really like for practicing. And then we're getting into our vegetables, and I just absolutely love these. Look at the garlic. I love the garlic if you want to colour in a garlic bulb. Oh my goodness. So what else have we got? We've got some corn, and we've got beets and radishes, cauliflower, celery, chilies, potatoes. Oh, there's potato and a sweet potato. Oh, that's amazing. Asparagus. So, you know, you have lots of choice and lots of variety. And even if you just want something quick to colour, you know, you're not necessarily doing it as a practice, then you could just pick up one of these sheets and, you know, spend maybe 5-10 minutes colouring in one of them. So I think this is really nice. It's quite relaxing. We're into berries now as well, cranberries, red currants, black currants. And then on this very back page is a sort of mandala type pattern, which is also super cute for you to colour in. And obviously you can print this off and colour it as many times as you like. So you could maybe do some different colour themes using some of your pencil combinations that you've tried out in the practice sheets. So for today's little bit of colouring that we are going to do, I have printed out these on the paper that I like to use, which I will put a link to in the description if you fancy it yourself. It's reasonably cheap and it's just got a little bit of texture to it, which is what I like for coloured pencil. And today I am going to be using my Polychromos coloured pencils because those are my favourite coloured pencils. So I'm just going to pop those off to the side. The only other thing that I've got today is my Tagal multi-sharpener, and it will be set on point number 5 because with my Polychromos I like a big pointy point and not a little short stubby one. So other than that, we're just going to start colouring. Okay, so I really want to start with this banana. I'm excited about the banana situation and I'm going to go for the smiley face to try and cheer myself up a little bit today. So I think I'm going to start with light yellow glaze, which is quite a pale yellow. And we'll start with these little segments here, I think. And we'll just have a wee go at colouring them and see how they get on. Oh, these are just delightful. They're super cute as well. They are absolutely super cute. One of the other things that I do have in front of me that I didn't mention earlier was my swatch book, which I usually have in front of me anyway. Now I'm very familiar with my Polychromos pencils, but when you do get to a stage, if you've got more than one set of pencils, it is always nice to have that reference there so that you can refer to your colours, because especially with the pencil sets that I don't use quite as often, like my Crayolas and the Artisas, they're quite a new set to me. It's nice to have something just to refer to help you pick out colours that little bit quicker. So I've just got my little teeny tiny brown ochre, which yeah, you can see that gets used a lot. And I'm just filling in these little centre sections. And I'm going to start adding in a little bit of shading just shortly as well. It looks like a happy banana already. Oh, goodness me. I think much as I like, now I'm just thinking out loud here, and Norwegian Colorist has asked for a little bit of feedback. I think that my only complaint about this is that I think I would like personally to have a little bit more space to colour each fruit, so maybe have less of them on a page. So if I just zoom out a little bit, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 rows of 3. So even if maybe there were, I don't know, maybe even just take one row out, 5 rows or even 4 rows of 3, and just be able to make each of these fruits a little bit bigger, I think that might be quite nice. Excuse me while I roll my sleeves up again. Random and uninteresting fact, I hate cuffs. I don't mind wearing jewellery on my wrists, but I don't like my clothes being on my wrists. And you will notice in most of my videos that I very rarely have my cuffs down round my wrists unless it's really, really cold. I've always been like that, I don't know why. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, I think it would be nice, especially with some of the fruit that have a little bit more detail, like the orange segments, it would be nice to have a slightly larger area to work in. That might just be my personal preference. If anybody would like to comment on that, please do so down below, because I do think that Norwegian Colorist would be quite happy to receive any sort of feedback. So tell us what you think, guys. So I'm going to go to a deeper yellow now. And what have we got here? I think this is what I'm looking for, dark Naples ochre. And I'm going to use this to just get a little bit of shading in some of these sections. When it comes to bananas, I like quite unripe bananas. You know, I like them quite green. I don't like it when they get really ripe and sweet. I don't like really sweet things. And it works really well in our household because Mr. Jem likes a really ripe banana, but he has a horrendous sweet tooth. So it works out quite well because if we buy a bunch of bananas, I usually eat the first couple and then later on he eats the rest of them. So that's a happy way for things to work in this house. I can't get this, like I can't unsee this face. This is just tickling me. It's really good. It's actually cheering me up because, as I said, I'm really not feeling that great today. So I'm going to start putting in a little bit of shading, and this is what these are great for, these practice sheets. Now obviously most people will have seen a banana before and you'll know that they come in all shapes and sizes, but they also come in a lot of different colours, and again that goes back to whatever stage of ripeness they're at as well. So you could experiment with these and try and colour them in different, you know, at different stages of their ripeness. Goodness me, I think we'll put a wee tiny patch of green in though. We'll just mix this up a little bit. Not this green though. Pick a proper green, Jem. No, May green. May green's one of my short pencils as well, I'm sure. Oh no, I got a new, I used my May green pencil. I'm on to a new one now. I'll maybe just put a little bit. Start to build this up. It's been a really long time since I've done something like this in terms of colouring. You know, it's not something I've ever had as practice sheets. So this is actually really nice for me. This is fun, you know, it's not a great big involved piece or page to be working on, and sometimes it's just nice to have little things to, you know, just to not mess about with. That makes me sound as if I'm belittling it, but just something that's not going to take up too much of your time or attention. And if you're anything like me, I'm really pushed for time. I'm busy all the time just because I've got so much on the go all the time. And sometimes I want to colour, but I don't have the time to invest, you know, to sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and colour something. So this is actually really nice for me. And I'm quite enjoying myself already. So I've got my cadmium yellow, which is a much yellowier yellow, a more traditional yellow colour. So I'm going to leave like a little highlight here. Oh, a shiny light on my banana. I love the word banana as well. My fixation on bananas comes from when I used to do a lot of longer distance running. I used to run, you know, like 40-50 miles a week. I don't do that now because I don't have time. I found out that I was a person that couldn't run on like a stomach full of food. And it took me ages to find out what worked with me. So I used to run first thing in the morning, and I found that eating a banana and having a cup of tea and then waiting half an hour worked really well. And I always used to say it's amazing how many miles you can go on a banana and a cup of tea. And it's a lot. It's a lot. You could do a good 16 miles on a banana and a cup of tea. So I've got my black pencil here, and I'm just going to use this very sparingly. You know, sometimes bananas, especially if they've been bashed about a little bit, they've got, you know, maybe some little marks on them. And the best bananas I've ever tasted, I think I talked about this quite recently actually. I'm obsessed with bananas. The bananas in Madeira, and Madeira is a tiny little island that is quite near Morocco, but it's part of Portugal. And the bananas in Madeira are amazing. They're just absolutely amazing. And unless you live in Portugal or Madeira, you will not see a Madeiran banana. They just taste amazing. I'm trying to persuade Mr. Jem to go back because I want Madeiran bananas. They make this bread as well. I can never remember the name of it, and they make this bread and it comes like in a round, and it's so amazing. It's really good. Can you tell I like food? But yeah, their bananas are awesome. So I'm just back with my light yellow glaze now, and I'm just gonna just richen this up a little bit. I think I want a wee bit more green just down here, just like a tickle of green. And there we go, there we have a banana. It's our happy banana face. So what about this lime? Let's try a lime. I'm excited about lime. So I'm going to start with the May green. And funnily enough, there is actually a lime in my fruit basket just now. It's not something that's normally in my fruit basket, but there is one there just now. It's for a recipe. And I was looking at it the other day because as someone who likes to draw, when I'm doing like practice exercises or quick sketches, I quite often draw fruit. They're good to draw because they have lots of like lumpy bumpy bits and irregularities. And I noticed that the lime was so many different colours of green, it was weird. And there was this really yellow patch, which was obviously just the unripened part. And it was really yellow, so I'm just going to stick my yellow glaze in here, I think. And this is a really good blending exercise as well, because you can do this, you know, however you please. There's no rules to this, and that's one of the really nice things about having practice sheets like this. It doesn't need to fit in with a colour scheme. You don't have to have, you know, a set palette or anything like that. And you don't even have to colour them the colours that they should be in real life. You can just try things out. Now, obviously it would be a bit odd if you had a blue lime, but if you were working with a sort of blue toned palette on a colouring page and it happened to have a lime in it, well, you could start experimenting with the greens that have a sort of bluier tint to them, and you could experiment with your colour combinations and figure out what works and, you know, what looks odd and what doesn't. And obviously if you want to redo it, you can just print out another copy. So I'm going to write my colour combinations down for this one because this is getting interesting. So we had May green, light yellow glaze, and now I'm using permanent green. That's something else I'm quite curious to know from you guys that do colour. When you're writing down colour combinations, if you're a person that does that, do you write down the colour names or do you use the numbered codes on the pencils? I always write the names down, and I'm not sure if anybody does it a different way, or is it just me that does it that way? I don't know. So I'd be really curious to hear from you if that's something that you do. Okay, I'm going to take my pine green, but I'm going to use this very sparingly. And I'm maybe going to have a little patch of that down here. And because I'm layering it up over the other colours, it's not going to be too piney greeny. Piney greeny, oh goodness. But I just want to add a tiny tickle of that in it. And if I feel I want more later, I can always put another few layers of that down. And start blending this together with my permanent green again. So this feels nice. It feels good. I like the fact that there's a little bit of detail in them as well. You know, it's not just the outline. I have seen lesser quality colouring sheets, shall we say, that have had, you know, a similar sort of thing, like flowers and fruit and things, and it is literally just an outline. And with a little bit of practice, it's the kind of thing that you could just do yourself. You know, it wouldn't take you long to master that after a couple of tries. So I like the level of detail here because it's enough to make these sheets, you know, worthwhile quality, unique and identifiable, but it's plain enough for you to add things in if that's what you want to do. And I quite appreciate, as someone who draws, I appreciate that very much. There's something really nice about colouring though. Somebody did actually ask me at one point, you know, why would you colour in colouring books when you can draw and you could just draw your own things and colour them in? But I think there's something really nice about colouring in someone else's artwork, and it gives you like another influence, and it gives you different ideas and different inspirations compared to what comes out of your own head. And I really like that because quite often it fuels other ideas in my head for my own artwork. But not only that, I find this really relaxing as well. And it was, I mean, to begin with, I took up colouring as like a coping mechanism when I was really, really stressed out. And I still get that enjoyment out of it, and quite often in an evening, if I do have like a few hours before bed, I am too tired to start drawing things. Like I literally don't have it in me, but maybe I still want to do something arty related, and I am happiest when I've got a pencil in my hand. So something like this, or even like a simple colouring book page, is really, really, really nice to have, and it's something I really enjoy. Especially if I don't need to use the brain power, like if I've already picked out colours and I'm literally just picking the pencils up and putting it on the paper. There is nothing more relaxing to me than that. I'm quite enjoying the way my lime's turning out here. I'm trying not to make the highlight like a perfect circle because I want it to look as if it's a little bit lumpy bumpy. And I'm going to put a tiny bit of this May green on top of the yellow. And it still looks quite yellow. I've got my brown ochre again. me and my brown ochre. There we go. I think you'll agree that looks quite limey. Quite limey, goodness me. Let's see. Oh, watermelons. I love watermelons. Okay, right, let's go with the watermelon. Again, that would be lovely if it was just a bit bigger. Even these segments here, if they were just a bit larger, that would be really nice as well. This is kind of weird because I can stick with the same set of pencils that I've got here. Some of you might just say I'm being lazy. We're going to have to get some pink on the go though, so we'll change the colour. Oh yeah, I do like a good watermelon. It's difficult to get decent watermelons in Scotland. I mean, you can buy them in the supermarket, but they're not that great. Where we used to live, before we moved to the new cave, almost quite a while ago now, there was a market quite near us, like a farmer's market, and it was I think it was every second weekend, and we would go, especially in the summer, and we would pick up, you know, the sort of fresh fruit and veg. And the watermelons you used to get there, oh my goodness, they were absolutely gigantic, and they were so juicy. They were amazing. I loved them, and they were super cheap as well. And they just, like, the ones in the supermarket weren't a patch on them. They were so good. And we always used to leave them to last because they were heavy. We'd go around the rest of the market first and get everything else that we wanted, and then we would go back for the watermelons because they were heavy. We didn't want to have to carry them about before we went back to the car. And the thing is, if you did get one at night, there was always somebody would stop you, you know, on the way back to the car and say, "Where did you get your watermelons?" And you're like, "Go to the fruit stall, it's over there." They're so good. I haven't had one of them in a long time. A long time. I just find them really refreshing. They're also good if you put alcohol in them, but we'll not talk about that. I think I've kind of messed up my colouring here. I've missed a line somewhere. It's because I'm too busy talking. It's all my teachers at school used to say that about me. Jem would do better in school if she concentrated more. Like me, concentrate? Nah. Okay, I'm going to go back to my light, I keep going to say light lemon glaze, it's light yellow glaze. And I'm just going to do these paler areas. I'll just fill them in a little bit. Ooh, it's nice. And then I'm going to take my May green, which is the sort of yellowy green, and just use that to darken down some of these edges. Help get that nice sort of round shape. And this is going to be darker in here though, I think. Just add in a little bit, I'll just put that right across there. Okay, and for our watermelony bit, I should really have sharpened that to a bit more of a point. Again, doing this rind, it would be nice just to have a wee bit more space so that you could graduate some colours more, you know, have a little bit more room to play about with the colours, because that's what these sheets are all about after all. Can't really do much with shading in there because it's too small a space. Okay, let's pick a watermelony pink. I'm going to take Pink Madder Lake first. Now that might sound a bit crazy. I have noticed with some watermelons, it does depend on how ripe they are and also how wet they are. Oh my goodness, how moist they are. You know, that kind of affects the colour of the centre part of the melon, the actual part that you eat. So I want a kind of like a reddy orange colour now, or maybe like a pinky red. Pale Geranium Lake is what I'm after. And this will hopefully work quite nicely, yeah, on top of the pink that we've put down. So I'll just do this round the outside like a kind of half moon. Just layer this up. Looks juicy. This is making me want watermelon. I don't have any. I don't have any. And then I want an orangey red, so light cadmium red maybe. And I'm just going to put that right at the bottom there. That's what I was going for. That's exactly what I was looking for. I love it when a plan comes together. I'll zoom in a wee bit more. That's as far as I can zoom in. I hope you can see that okay, because they are quite small. It's really nice doing a video like this where I'm literally just like brain farting out as I go though. And if you guys can pick up any inspiration from what I'm doing, you know, for your own colouring, then by all means, that's even better. All of my dogs like watermelon as well, which is quite interesting. Jock can be a bit fussy with things like that. He tends to just prefer like dog food. He's not really into human food, but he does like a bit of watermelon. He will take a bit of watermelon. Weirdly, he likes olives as well, green olives. He will eat green olives, which I find really strange. But if you give him a tomato, Pip and Woo will both bite your hand off, not literally, but they, you know, they're really excited about like a little baby plum tomato or a cherry tomato, and Jock's just like, nah, I don't want one of them. Pip loves everything. Pip has yet to turn her nose up at anything that we've given her, and they do get scraps. It's usually just vegetables though. We're quite strict with things like that, just because Jock has bad skin, and there's a lot of things that he eats or that he could eat that make him itchy. So we'll leave that little pale part there, I think. I think we'll do one more. Let's see if we can find an interesting vegetable. Oh, there's a carrot, and it's still got its leaves on it. Yes. Oh, I can't believe I'm getting excited about vegetables. Right, let's go for a little orangey tone then. The cadmium orange. Let's start with cadmium orange. I'll zoom out a little bit, I think. And we'll just get some base colour down here. So I'm assuming that the majority of viewers today will be colorists. So this is probably quite a good time to talk to you about my website. One of the things that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months, it is going to be very gradual, but I am basically going to take photographs of every colouring page that I have ever coloured, and that's quite a lot because I've been colouring since 2015. But I would like to build up just a gallery, like catalogue type thing on the website, on the Colour Cave website, so that you can go and look for inspiration. And I'm thinking about cataloguing them by colouring book artist, but I'm not quite sure about that. So if that's something that you would be interested in sort of leafing through every now and then, could you let me know in the comments what order you would like to see it done in? I don't know whether to do it by colour scheme or whether to do it by colouring book artist. I think colouring book artist would be better, because a lot of the time I know myself that if I'm looking for inspiration, seeing how other people have coloured a page is quite helpful. So if you've got any thoughts on that, please let me know, because I say it's something that I've been wanting to do, and I'm a very sort of visually motivated person, and I quite often find a lot of joy and motivation from seeing other people's work, and that's why I love Instagram. And my Instagram feed is only art Instagram accounts, and it's so that I can just scroll through for some, just for some inspiration if I'm feeling a bit lacking in that department. And I'd really like to provide that in a kind of, I was going to say a more permanent environment, that's not what I mean, but just somewhere, if you've got a coffee or something and you've got 10 minutes that you could sit and look through if you were looking for inspiration for a page. So yeah, any input in that would be greatly appreciated, and I know you guys are quite good at letting me know with stuff like that, so please do, that would be really nice. I just want to put a wee bit of shadow here and give it that sort of curvature at the top to make it look a bit more kind of rounded. Again, would be really nice to have a bit more space. That is literally, and it's not even a complaint, it's just an observation, but I think that's the one thing that if I had to change anything about these sheets, I think that is the only thing, is just have less on the page so that I had more room. I know that would result in you printing off, if you're printing off the whole booklet, you would end up printing off an awful lot of pages, but again, because it's your own, you've got control over it and you can print off one page at a time. So I don't see there being any harm in that. Again, any other thoughts apart from mine are most welcome. So let's see if we can get permanent green olive. I am finding that I need to have quite a sharp point because I've got small spaces to get into. So again, polychromos, no, these are polychromos, come on Gem. Prismacolor pencils, you might spend an awful lot of time sharpening if you're going to do these, because the cores on those and the points on those wear down pretty quickly. I actually love these. These are like, they're so cute. I'm not usually that excited about cute things, but these are just adorable. And I'm really quite enjoying myself here. I would also like to know in the comments, if you're into this kind of thing and you think it's something that you might use, what other types of practice sheets would you like to see? You know, is there a particular subject matter that you would like to have to colour, you know, to try things out? Again, I'm sure Norwegian Colorist would greatly appreciate your input, you know, for future suggestions, because she did say to me that there are more coming. You know, there's going to be more and more added to her store as she goes along. So that would be awesome to give her some suggestions. Again, you could get a little bit more detail on these leaves. Oh yeah. Where's my pine green? Come back to me, pine green. I actually really like the pine green. I like all the greens though, that's part of my problem. I have a green pencil problem. I have actually noticed as well, I've now got a green watercolour paint problem too. Which is ridiculous because you can mix your own greens really easily with watercolour paint. Still got to have all the greens. I must have all the greens. And I see a new one and I'm like, oh, that's lovely. Okay, there we go. A little cute carrot to colour. I am really pleased with these. These are really great fun. And I have to say, I think I've done an okay job. I do think I've done an alright job. Let's zoom out a little bit, that's better. And yeah, these are really, really helpful, and I kind of wish I had a set of these when I was a bit newer to colouring. I think they would have been really helpful. For me, the fruit and veg ones are really, really fun. Like, I enjoy colouring these, but I do think that the flower ones will actually be more useful to me now as a person, because I am absolutely rubbish with flowers. Like, I don't know my flowers, I really don't. And going through that process of looking up reference images on Google and then trying to replicate the colours, these sheets would be so helpful for stuff like this, even as a precursor to going and painting a flower, just to try and really get a grip of what different types of colours and how they're blending together within the petals would be excellently helpful. And also I might actually learn some flower names while I'm at it. So personally for me, I actually think now at the stage that I'm at, I will use the flowers one quite often, and I think the fruit and veg one I'll probably use just for funsies, you know, with a cup of tea if I've got a spare half an hour. Anyway, I've had really good fun with this. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a nice little change as well. I hope you've had fun too. And as I said before, all your comments are welcome down below, and support for Norwegian Colorist to get her little Etsy store up and going with these practice pages. Please go and visit her Instagram and her Etsy store and show her a little bit of Colour Cave love. I want to thank you very much for joining me, and I hope that you have enjoyed yourself today, and we shall see you back in the cave next time for another video. Have a good day everyone, and bye bye for now.